The ground burns, scorched for as far as the eye can see. Armor pieces, siege weapons, bones continue to burn all the way up to the great keep that sits at the top of the massive outcropping, the Grand City, and the citadel that was Arnu Tol and this kingdom that built around it. You sleep in the battle tent, safely within the inner part of the Empire's camp, and you feel a strong, not ungentle, but firm, large hand on your shoulder wake you. It's your father. Son, wake up.
Yes, father?
And you look up and you see, in full ornaments, full dress,
Okay.
the general, your father. Get up, son. It's time. You need to see the end of this. It's the middle of the night.
Okay.
Not quite middle of the night. Maybe like the earliest of morning light.
The dawn time.
Yeah. Just the light coming up over.
That like, what's it called? The blue hour.
Yeah. The blue hour where the sun has not bathed its light on where you are, but there is enough light now bouncing that you can see. Your father turns to you and he says, get dressed. Come on.
Okay.
What do you do?
I know what he's like, so I will get up and basically get everything. I'll sort of, when you're sort of like hopping out the door, trying to get. I'm assuming I'd have armor as well and get. What do you think at this point?
Yeah, you could have. Your father's in military dress, but he's a general. He's not on the front lines of this. But I think you would probably have enough. You're kind of here, not quite as a page, but really you are here to witness and to learn.
Whatever I've got, because I know that I'd want to feel the part, especially because I feel like I'm.
Anywhere you go, you are the general's son.
Exactly. So I'll put on all my stuff.
Okay.
That makes me look the part.
You quickly throw on your clothes, and you throw off your night clothes that you've got on, throw on your day clothes, throw on your boots, as your father waits for no one. But as you follow in his wake, and he walks through, the soldiers on all sides standing out there stand to attention, get out of the way, just he is like a force of nature, and everyone is aware when the general is close.
Okay.
But he gets to a raised outcropping, which has sort of become like the command center, a raised area of the land so that he can see as much of the battlefield as possible. And as you approach, there are many military figures that you recognize. In your role here, you've been acting quite like a page to your father, running messenger routes, but really you're here to learn and to observe, and your father has insisted that you unblinkingly watch how a war is won, what it takes, and what the cost is of that. Quickly after you arrive there, your brothers follow suit, not the runts of the litter, very much as an orc should be. These are mountainous hunters, the pride of the Empire. But they too, similar to you, are sort of shaking out of the tone and the no one disagrees with your father. And when your father says, we do this now, you do it. So you step up onto the plateau and you see the various tables and the charts and the informations. You've got the kind of rare arcane mages getting messages all the time, sort of being passed around. Really, it's clerics. It's all in the service of Sol. And it's just a constant what's been going on. And you see in front of you, compared to where you were asleep and where things are now, the army has now approached and completely surrounded the citadel. And your father says, any minute now, she'll come. And he just stands there and watches. What do you do?
At the moment, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait and see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you just stand by your father?
Stand by. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you say anything to him?
Yeah. Do I have to be here, Father?
Yes, Aldric. You must see the cost of ending a war. And, the four of you wait in silence. Well, the silence of a camp, of a very busy command position, but I think everybody knows that something is about to happen. The end is in sight, but what might that be? And before, sort of, as you wait there, the giant doors of the citadel crash open. I mean, these doors are like 40 foot tall. You have seen they're each maybe 40 foot tall, 20 foot wide. They're absolutely enormous. But as they bash open, a enormous red dragon barrels out, just scorching fire bellowing out of its mouth as it, this is the thing of nightmares of just feet and feet and feet of flame just scorching the soldiers that have been thrust to the front of this to assault the keep. And your father just stands, hands behind his back, and watches as dozens of soldiers just get absolutely roasted. But he watches like a hawk, observing. And that's when you see, as this dragon's neck extends out and it comes forward, it's slashing, it belches another whole hot flame just scorching over another area of soldiers. You see the chains begin over the top of the neck. As the Empire does what the Empire does, unrelenting. And over the course of a fight where hundreds, if not thousands of people have perished to the flames of this dragon, the dragon is brought low. And even from this distance, you can see where a great beast of the world is removed. Now your father turns to an aide to the side and says, "Ensure it's done. Come, Al." And just walks down, expectant.
Father, what is this? What's happening?
The cost of war.
Please, Father, please let me stay at the tent. I don't want to see it.
You must, because you must know the cost of what we do here. And he pushes on. As you walk through this battlefield and into the description I had earlier of just the flames. You maybe missed this earlier, but it's like the earth itself is burning still. And it wasn't always that way. And the rumors are already going around from the soldiers in the camp, of the people that you've spoken, that the Emperor himself was here in person to scorch the earth of Arnu Tol so that no one would ever rise in this land again. Now, it's the fanciful rumours, of course, but the way you look around, something's happened here. And it's hard to think of anything else that might have caused this level of destruction.
Yeah.
But you eventually get to the grand obsidian castle citadel of Arnu Tol, and you see the remains of a very large red dragon. And your father turns to you and says, "Some will find glory in this, but others will see the cost of what it takes to bring stability. Look and remember."
So I think in that moment, I look for as long as I can and then turn my head. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does he feel when he looks upon like a huge creature of legend, but there is now one who is?
Yeah, I think it's hard, isn't it? Because it's like that he's been brought up around fighting and war, but
indoctrinated,
indoctrinated into it. But I obviously, I don't think he's ever seen. I don't think any of these people have ever seen anything like this. And so for a kid, especially one who was probably not indoctrinated in the same way as others, because everyone was like, he's not as
and protected as well. I think he's the general's son. He's the runt of the litter.
So these would have been scary bedtime stories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and they absolutely were. Like you would have known many of Fable of the dragon that flew over the village of Innocence and scorched it in one swoop, and seeing what you've just seen, you can look at that and be like, yeah, I can see a flying great worm could have just ruined a very peaceful village of the Empire.
Yeah.
But I think when you're here,
yeah, I think I'm seeing it. It was scary seeing it come out and all that sort of stuff. But seeing, I guess what would be such a legendary and majestic creature gone. It's a mixture of what was fear has turned into almost pity and like sadness. I think that's what's happening. I'm looking and going, this feels this doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
I think you maybe heard the stories of the real squaddies and the soldiers who would drink and sing and like glory for the Empire and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you, with eyes open, see the cost of this.
Yeah.
And what is it and what for and all of those things. From seeing this, I think you oversee the administrations of conquest.
Okay. With my brothers.
Your brothers, I think your brothers are probably more. Your brothers are like, they are shock troopers.
Are they older?
Yeah,
these are older.
Yeah. I think you are significantly younger than your siblings as well. So there's always been like a protectionism. They're like, it's you here to learn. Your brothers are here to lead.
They are already part of the military.
Yeah, they've been, I think, part of it as long as you've known. They've been professional soldiers.
Cool.
But I think you see various people running in and out of the citadel. You see, the full administration of victory. But we will jump forward to that evening. As you lie back in your tent, the sounds of soldiers drinking and merriment slightly dying down. This is the end of the war. Like, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But you lie in your bed staring, I imagine, unable to sleep, at the roof of your tent.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do now?
Do they found the youngling?
The word has come to the camp that a final dragon has been found.
Okay.
I think you're close enough that you might have seen grit of the teeth and frustration. Not frustration, maybe that's the wrong word, but a general who knows what choice he needs to make and doesn't like it. And I think from what he has said and what the Empire says about these creatures, these monsters, I think you see just a little bit more knowing from your father of what the Empire demands, even of an incredibly powerful man in it, that he has, in this instance, very limited agency on the choice that must be made.
Okay. He's a strong arm of. He's their tool.
He is a tool. Even a man of stature and legend.
Yeah.
He is still merely one tool that is a vehicle for the beast that is the Empire.
They've caught this down. Okay. I want to go. So I think if he's seen this magical being, but is dead. I think he wants to go. I think he wants to go and find. He wants to try and see
one alive.
See one alive.
Okay. You creep out into the night. You throw on your leathers. Don't throw on the armor pieces. Those are why do you need them?
I want to be a sneaky man.
Yes, a sneaky man, of which you are very good. Your brothers may run through the buildings, but you have found a way to run over and around them. And I think you use your position where you need to get past various peoples and say that you are on the orders of your father heading towards the Citadel on business of...
Documenting... I need to document the size and the danger of this so that we can decide exactly what we're going to do with it.
for the Empire.
For the Empire, yeah.
And I think there is enough zealous patriotism in a moment of victory and the end of a war that they're not going to stop the general's son from getting through.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and they're probably also half cut at the same time.
Yeah. And I think you sneak around the glowing ember fields, and I think this is just a visual to keep in mind of just like fields stretching out, and all, like the camps that you have are in the few areas that are not currently burning.
Yep.
But you creep through and you approach the obsidian giant citadel itself, and you approach some guards at the beginning, like at the entrance of the citadel, who are standing there, and they stop you. And
I'm going to retrospectively, just because of what we said, I'm going to have grabbed like the equivalent of like a notepad and a quill or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I would have anyway if I'm sort of
acting as page.
Yeah. And I'm going to, instead of just walking up, I'm just going to basically just try and walk past them with intent at first.
Okay.
And just see what happens.
Okay. Let's call this a stealth check, just to see if you can
almost be hide in plain sight.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. 18.
18. Okay. With that, I think you easy enough. They see you, like you said. It's hiding in plain sight, but you know your position. You have come with mission.
Well, that's the thing. I wanted there to be enough intention that they don't question why. They're like, oh, it's the general's son. He must be doing something.
You work your way into this truly colossal hall. It is by far the biggest building you have ever seen.
Is this on fire, by the way?
No.
It's not. Oh, right, okay.
No. The obsidian, like everything about it is obsidian.
Okay.
And I think you just feel almost like it is built for purpose. Like this citadel itself almost seems older than the land around it. It's hard to understand, like, but dragons lived here. And it's like, but how? What? Like, just so many questions, but also you just follow the lanterns of people, like guards, and like where the citadel itself, at least in this portion of this colossal building, is already got enough of the Empire's like guards and people, the unlucky few who don't go out drinking tonight. But you work your way up a colossal staircase and get to an area that has been barred off already. The sense of a makeshift cell. You get to a couple of guards who are sort of in the way guarding that, but rolling over your roll already. You will, I think, head up to them, and I don't know, Lee, what would you do if you get to this I think you know that this is where they are keeping the beast.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still be, obviously... No, I wouldn't be sneaky. No, because I've made the choice now that I have a purpose and I've got my story. I guess, as you say, I would follow what seemed like the lantern lit. But I mean, can I look up for signs of where they might be keeping it?
Sure. Roll a perception check.
2.
Okay. You have a look around. I think you don't necessarily see, and I think you have to make a decision. Like, if you're going to get there, you're going to have to go ask someone.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll head over to the nearest sort of guard.
Head over. Ah, sir. Can I help you? It's quite late.
Evening. My father has sent me to document the creature. I need to get its... Well, if I'm honest, I don't want to be doing this, but...
Don't blame you.
That's my position in the family. I am the youngest. He's sent me to judge its size, its colour, all of the things that are needed to help make the decision on what to do with it.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. 16.
Okay. With that and your position, I think the guards sort of nod, and one of them is clearly more in charge, nods to the other and says, "Follow me." Leads you down a longer corridor. They have, there's a couple of other guard posts I think you get down as you are. They've clearly taken some chambers here and just made do with what they can. But down the end of this corridor, past a couple of other rooms that they've sort of retrospectively used as prison-like areas, there is one door in the end that is fully encased in metal. Like, they have made sure that this is fully metal, and big key goes in and opens. The other guards on the outside turn and point their spears in that direction. There's a couple of shields up, and the door is opened, and you look at the space, and the guard says to you, "Just knock when you want to come out. Be careful."
Thank you. Resume your post.
And you enter the room. You are let into the makeshift prison.
Okay.
You step inside, and chained down in the middle of the room with various chains over the top and a sort of muzzle chain around its neck, you see from nose to tail maybe 7 foot. It is pretty much the same size that you are, and you see this little, slight, skinny, wormling dragon. Red dragon.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it eyes you, and you just see, like, around the muzzle, like, bits of flame.
Okay, I put down everything that's in my hands, and I get lower to the ground.
Mm-hmm. You hear the sounds of the chains just shaking as this creature moves under.
Yeah. Do I know whether youngling dragons can, like, breathe fire and stuff?
You don't know for you. I think you would imagine, like, you see enough licking of flame.
Okay.
But, like, you don't know. I don't think anyone knows enough about actually, which isn't legend. What is not legend?
How big is this space?
The space itself is remarkably large. It's maybe, I think I described everything in here. This isn't the same scale as the downstairs, the main bit you got to, like, with a 40-foot door. It is still tall.
Okay.
Maybe 20-foot high ceilings.
All right.
But, it's for bigger folk, clearly, but not necessarily giant.
Okay. Does it look scared or angry?
Make an insight check.
It's a dragon. It's tough. 18.
With an 18, I think you see both. I think you see a rage, but that of a child.
Yep.
But ultimately, that is, with an 18, I think, buried behind a very scared creature that is alone, chained to the floor.
That's why I'm going to go. I understand. I'm the smallest too. I'd be scared if I was in your situation. And as I'm saying this, I'm going to slowly sort of walk, but sort of sideways on, with my hand out. And just sort of get slowly close to it. My name's Aldric. I'm one of the people that has done this to where you live, but I don't think everyone really wants to be doing it. We're being told to. I think people are scared of dragons, but you don't look too scary.
With that, as you see its, like, slitted yellow eye just looking at you from the side, you hear like a
Ooh.
And it, like, rattles against the chain.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you are scary, but so are my people. But some of us don't want to be scary. I don't want to be fighting and killing. And I don't think you do either. As I get closer and closer.
Maybe a foot away from, like, the side of its neck.
Oh, I'm going to try and place my hand on its neck.
Roll a Persuasion.
Ooh.
Check.
17?
It's pretty good. I think as you say this, you have no idea whether this is going in, whether it can understand, whether this is a creature which is intelligent in that way. I don't think you know anything about that.
Yeah.
But I think you say what's in your heart. And there is enough, perhaps, in that you rest your hand on the neck of a dragon, warm under your touch. And the tension, like, taut this creature, I think, in the slightest, smallest way, relaxes under a friendly touch.
Okay. In that case, I will look in its eyes. Depending on
I think you're looking at one side.
side.
Yeah. So you can just see one eye as the other is, like, its head is pulled as far as it can against the chains that hold it.
And what do I see in? Does it feel? Do I that relaxing? And I mean, do I see that represented in how?
Its body is relaxing, in not like a, oh, I'm relaxed now, but like it was a sprung fucking, like, absolutely, like, if it wasn't chained as hard as it was, you know, this thing would probably be launching itself to the other side of the room. But I think in something of that touch, it softened enough that it is not actively pushing against the bound, you know, the bonds that hold it, but it is still very much a very caged creature.
Yeah. I'm going to look in its eye, and I think that moment, my memory flashes back to the dragon from Dawn, and the realization that is this creature's mother. And the relation, I think it's a funny one. It's like the relationships between my father and my mother, and all those sort of things come into play.
Absolutely.
And it's that idea of that loss, and I think actually a little tear runs down Aldric's face in that sort of moment, and I think he has a bit of a moment of fuck it, and I'm going to cut the muzzle off.
Okay. It is not cuttable. It is iron and chain. So you go over to one corner, but you make a choice.
Okay.
You make an action in this moment to say no to the programming, to the orders, to the family legacy, and maybe it is this memory of childhood with your mother before the weight of your father and your position and everything came calling, but you say no.
Yep.
You look around the room and you see over in one corner there is like an iron bar, like maybe 20 foot away. The creature is very much like kept in the middle of the room. There are windows in here, but the creature has been bolted to the middle of the room. But you see over in one corner, maybe it's a spear, like a spear has been left over in one corner, but you go over, you grab it and come back into one of the chain loops, and you begin to try and pull to try and bust open the muzzle.
Yeah. So I think there's also there is that slight moment of like, because I feel like this would happen. As he's doing that, he's like, obviously he's checking everywhere, and as he's doing it, he's like, fuck, what am I doing? It's happening though. It's
happening. So go ahead, and I think because you're using it as leverage, I'll allow dexterity rather than strength.
Okay, great.
But I think this isn't like an acrobatics. I think let's just call this a straight dex check to wedge this in, utilize the lever. I'm going to say with advantage, because as you do it, the dragon pushes.
Oh, cool.
So let's see what happens here.
That's not good. 19.
with a 19 together. Boom. Bang! Big sound.
Okay, and I think in that moment, so I think I've got this. Was it a spear? You said
Yes.
Yeah. So I've stood back, and then I sort of walk back away because I've realised sort of what has happened, and then I realise I'm holding the spear and throw it away.
You throw it away. This dragon's head coiled up like a snake. You know, that cobra sort of upright look. It is now, muzzle is off. Screams at you, and like you shudder back as this like just scorches its own leg.
Right.
But the iron on the leg
okay.
begins to go. You hear at this point, wait, it's getting escape! And you look behind you, and a viewing port is open.
As in, it was open when?
You don't know.
Oh. Okay.
As this happens, it's like, open the door! Quickly! Open the door! And as this happens, the dragon on one side has scorched, like melted the iron on one leg. It has turned its head round and it's doing the other leg. What do you do in this moment?
I think I'm in it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in it.
Okay.
Is that the only way out? That door?
It is the only way out.
Okay, decision. Okay, I will. Okay, no, I've made this. I've made this decision now. I look at it, and it wouldn't probably know why I'm saying it, but I just say I'm sorry, and then I just say go.
As you say that, the door between first go and second, the door has opened as you shout go, and this dragon, which yanks like with its claw, like it doesn't scorch both, but it pulls at the other, and it pulls like its front paw off. Do you help with the back one?
Yep, I get the spear. I'm
in this moment
now.
The two of you pull, and it turns and looks at you, and you see full hunter, full apex creature of the world, almost nose to nose with you. And it's very much that Toothless How to Train Your Dragon moment where you free something and then you're like, oh no, what have I freed? But this creature is free, and it looks at you, eyes dart up over your shoulder, and down into the corridor as you hear like people diving for cover, you know, getting behind the door, as you turn to look, and it looks over your shoulder, and with a cloak in front of them, a giant figure steps out, throws his cloak to the side, as you see the general looking at you with... Your father doesn't get shocked, but with the closest damn thing his face can pull, as you have freed the final part of what the Empire needs in your father's victory. As this dragon, and like his cloak is completely protecting him, and he throws it to the side, and shock as this dragon just turns, bolts towards the window, like those sort of concretey, like blocked windows, and it's just whole form just bounds in and bursts through it, drops, and then you see just out the open window as wings spread, and this wormling is free.
I think, because I'm still facing away, I don't think I'm going to look back at my father. I think I'm just going to look at this dragon leaving, and I think the weight of what I've just done and the emotion behind that this has ignited within me about that family, that mother, because I think there's a complicated relationship there. I think he bursts into tears, but he doesn't look back at his father for him to see this.
And as he looks out a window to a clear sky and a creature unbound by duty, by chain, by anything, something that was bound is free. And as the beginning of this moment started, you feel a firm and not ungentle hand slam down on your shoulder. And that's where we'll end that.
Oh, man.
That was Ross Green as Aldric and Jack Collard as everyone else. It was recorded, edited and designed by Jack Collard with additional music and sound from Michael Ghelfi Studios. The theme and credits music were composed by Odin Orn Hilmarsson. Fable of Shadow is a Phoenix Fables production, and it was supported by Kayla Delcoure as the company manager, Miranda Barril as the project lead, Cherry as the illustrator, and Vanna Reader, Maz and Casey Powers as the transcription team. This show is dedicated to Penny. I can't thank you enough, but thank you, Penny. If you want to learn more about what Phoenix Fables is all about, come join our community, otherwise known as The Flock, on our Discord. We have community events, live streams on Twitch, and much more coming to get your beak into. And if you want to help the show, please follow our socials at Phoenix Fables Online on whichever platform you choose to use. The character backstories are now available, as are episodes 1 and 2. Next episode will be live in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.